There are so many different chess websites today that you can learn and improve your game on. Chess.com, Lichess, Chessable, ImChess, Chess Tempo, Chess Mood, Chess Vision, Chessly. Today I wanted to have a look at ChessMind and see if it's any good. This video is not sponsored, it's just my personal opinion. If we come onto the homepage, it shows us all of the courses that are on the website. There's multiple different ways you can filter the courses. So here you have courses for white, courses for black. For white, you can go through all of the gambits. They've got 7 gambits to learn, 18 E4 courses, 3 E4 sidelines, 4 D4 courses, and then 2 D4 sidelines. I was using this website a couple weeks ago and they had less courses on there then. So they are still updating and adding to the website, but they do get professional opinion from it. A grandmaster runs the website, so you know that this is all quality content. For the black pieces, you can filter by playing against E4, playing against D4, and just those 2 options. I've really been hoping to get into a specific line with the Sicilian defense. I want to learn how to play the Sicilian better. I've never studied it. And so playing against E4, I can see there's a dragon Sicilian. There is a Sicilian Kalashnikov. And yeah, just those 2 Sicilians. So I would probably start learning how to play the dragon Sicilian. Each course has a little description about it. Learn one of the most annoying defenses against E4, the French defense. The Kalashnikov, a powerful and little known weapon for surprising from the opening positional plans and direct attacks with black. So I really like the layout of this website. If you click this button to request the course, you can go onto ChessMind's Discord server and you can put in a request for something that you'd like to be added to the website, which I think is really cool. You can also click add course where you can input your own course. Just paste in your PGN. You can paste in a Lichess study and you can designate it for what color it is. This will be a private course and only your profile that you log in as will have access to this. Obviously, other people using the website wouldn't be able to see that. I personally had been trying to learn the Alien Gambit with this website on stream the other day. I do know that Witty Alien has given input into this specific course, so it is as legit as it can be. So this is the course tab. There's also a quiz tab and a puzzle tab. So real quick, let's jump over to the quiz tab. The first one is the Chess GPT quiz. And on here, you're given a chess position and you have to explain your answer. So who is better? Explain why. White to move. When I look at this position, I see white has 2 rooks and a miner and black has 2 miners and a rook. However, this bishop is terrible because it's blocked in by its own pawns, and this bishop is super powerful. So I would say this is basically just as powerful as a rook because it has so much access. And probably the key deciding factor, black has a knight, and this position is extremely closed. Who's better? Explain why. Black is better. They have a more active bishop, and they have a powerful knight in a closed position. Okay, so the AI judged me here. White is an exchange up, so I didn't explain that in my written answer, even though I verbally explained that to you guys. Black has a very strong control of dark squares. I got this right. Black has a strong knight on f4 and a bishop on d4. White's bishop is nearly useless. I explained that verbally to you guys, but I didn't write it. Overall, black is better. Now, I can completely understand AI is frustrating sometimes. When I go on ChatGPT, it gets really annoying when they just give me the answer they think I want versus giving me the actual answer. Here, I didn't get the answer completely correct, but I did verbalize it, and that could be frustrating for someone who understood those things, they just didn't write it out. Over here on the evaluation quiz, we're given a random position, and you have to figure out who's better, which I like because this is a much more black and white answer. There's no AI like sort of saying, oh, you kind of got this right, you didn't quite get that right. You're either wrong or you're right. So let's see what we can do here. For the material, white has a queen, black has a queen. White's got 2 bishops, black's got 2 bishops. White's got 1 rook, black's got 2 rooks. White's got 1 knight, black's got 2 knights. So material wise, it seems like black is doing a wee bit better. And I can see over here 2 points of material up. Yeah. So they have less pawns. They've got 5 pawns and white has 6 pawns. I'd say white's pieces are more active. This bishop's super well placed on this diagonal. It is white's turn to move, so maybe there's some way of really capitalizing here. And one cool thing with these evaluation, because you can move the pieces, I could put this bishop on c4 if I wanted, you know, I can just move it around and put it wherever I like. And that is super nice for this evaluation. I honestly don't know how to judge this position at all because I'm a terrible chess player. So let's just say black's got more material. Let's say they're better. That's how I would normally think. And this is going to be wrong. Oh, I was right. Okay. Black has an extra piece for just a pawn. White definitely has some compensation due to piece activity, but it's not enough because there are no obvious ways to break, no way to increase the pressure. The knight on c6, which looks strong, can't really threaten the king on g8. Black's pieces are reasonably well coordinated. A great knight on e5. So it's hard for white to avoid simplification for too long. Yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. That's what I would have said. And that's what I did say. All right, let's jump into the plan quiz. What is the best strategy? White to move. What should we try to do here? Trade minor pieces? Well, you only trade when you're really ahead in material, I think. It doesn't really seem to make any sense to trade. Create a checkmate attack on the king side. So how would we even go about that? Like queen here and looking at something here. I don't understand this. Control e5 and attack the e6 pawn. Yeah, this is what I would go for. Put a bishop here, get your rook here after the trade, and then pile up all of the pieces on e6. That just looks super logical. Maybe I could even sack a piece here because after take, we would win the rook. Maybe. Invade on the c file with rook c1 to c7. This is probably decent too, but I feel like I would probably go after the backwards pawn. Happy days, we got it right. And it gives me validation here. The c file is open for both, so fighting for it will only lead to a trade of rooks. So this is why this is no good. Creating an attack on the king side won't work without first securing the center. And overall, the ideal plan is to control e5 to prevent black from breaking with e6, e5, which makes a lot of sense. They want to make their pawn active. You need to sometimes think about your opponent's plans. I really like this. So the third tab on this website is the puzzle tab, and there's puzzles, puzzle flash, time bomb, dashboard, improvement, puzzle history, leaderboards. And on all of these, there are leaderboards, just to say, like, you get a few points every time you do something on the website, and there is an overall leaderboard. I guess some people are into that. I'm not really interested in that, but maybe that does gamify it and make it more exciting, especially for younger learners. Puzzles. Let's check the puzzles. So here, advanced 13 to 1800, you can select what level you're at. So it gives me the rating of this puzzle, about a 1500, white to move. And I can see that this is very deadly. This is a checkmate in 1 for black. So I have to make sure I do something right now, meaning I can't just take a rook because I will get checkmated. The only other way to check black is by taking here. And after he captures, I could check here and he could just capture here and I'm completely lost. Oh, right. The way that you check in this position is queen g6. I don't know why I'm blind to that. King has to go here. Knight here. Rook takes. Queen g8 checkmate. Nice. Okay, and my rating's gone up. Okay, so 1500 wasn't the rating of the puzzle. 1500 was my rating. And it's just bumped me up. Cool. Now, if I go here, I can actually click on opening and I can select by so many different openings. This is really cool. Do they have the Jabava? It would probably be under report Jabava, wouldn't it? Yeah, here it is. Report Jabava system, other variations. They got a huge database of puzzles here. I think they probably pull this from Lichess. That's what I would assume, because I know Lichess has the same kind of thing. But yeah, this is nice. And here, yeah, the knight a4, I already know this. Winning a queen. And these are puzzles from this specific opening. Check here. Bishop blocks, I can't take. Check, same thing. Check if queen blocks, I take the rook. Check if bishop blocks, I take the bishop. And check if the king moves, I take the rook. Cool. I love this. I'm going to be using this more. Puzzle flash is a 1 minute, 2 minute, or 3 minutes. See how many you can get in that time. Time bomb. Solve each puzzle before the timer hits 0. Regain time with every single move. So on Grandmaster, you only get 3 seconds and you get 2 seconds added per move. Well, this is cool. Let's just give this a go. So here there's a back rank and I get 5 extra seconds added every time I find it. Well, they're all back rank, aren't they? It's because I put it on easy. Finally, a game that's not back rank. But you keep getting the seconds added. You get a streak here. This is pretty cool. And it looks like it's just become a wee bit more difficult. Never mind. It's still back rank stuff. And as soon as you lose, you're done. That's pretty cool. The dashboard just tells you what puzzles you've played, how well you've done, how many you've missed. I don't have any data for my improvement yet. I suppose this will change once I've done a lot of puzzles and things. You can go to your puzzle history and check through all of the puzzles that you did and which ones you got wrong, which is super nice, marked in red. So far, I'm pretty impressed with the website. I think the main thing that people want this for, however, is the courses. So let's jump into one of the courses and see how that works. I've just readjusted my screen here so you can see what that website actually looks like. I'm not trying to cover anything with my camera. So on one side of the screen, we have the chessboard with an evaluation bar. And along the top here, we have all of the different lines that we're going to learn in this course. It looks like there's 29 different lines, so I can flick through them. And on the right side here, name of the course, and it tells you move by move what happens. And then there's a bunch of puzzles here from the course. You can flick on analysis, which will allow you to just go into the position that is currently on the board so that you can make your own moves and figure stuff out. Model games of this exact line and people that have played it and what happened in those games. But here, there's just this big orange button glaring at me. So I'm going to flick through the moves now and see what's going on. It tells us our opponent takes the center. We launch the Sicilian defense. We put our pawn into c5. Our opponent develops, prepares d2 to d4. Okay, this is obvious that they're preparing this square and they're wanting to move in here. They could have immediately gone here, but they don't want to recapture with queen, because recapturing with queen, we would tempo. We keep many Sicilian options open. So just playing very solid here, d6. I would never play d6 on move 2. I would always move the knight. But good to know how the pros play. He jumps into the middle, so I'm guessing we take. We must trade the pawns, take. Our opponent recaptures and may gain a strong center with c2 to c4 if we don't prevent it. c2 to c4. Okay, so I actually didn't know this. Normally in a Sicilian, I just go with my quick setup. You know, I just get my pieces on these squares. So how would we prevent this? Maybe we could attack this pawn. That would be my first thought. We develop and hit the e4 pawn. Okay, so they have to defend this. And putting the knight in front of the pawn forces them to block it in, you know? So now they can't go to c4. But what if they had gone here with the bishop? Well, I mean, they probably could have done this. Although it's a super passive bishop and it's just become a super pawn, so that's probably not good. I could check the analysis afterwards to see, but this is the theory here. One thing I would love to see with ChessMind here is the ability to just pull a piece here and see what the evaluation is. Like on chess.com, I can immediately pull a piece and see what that analysis is according to the engine. Chess.com doesn't have all these lines set up like this. So this is definitely better in some regards, but I would say that would be a super nice feature. When I click analysis here, it takes me into this position. I can turn stockfish on. It's flipped the board around, so that's kind of annoying. I have to go down here and flip it again. And here, I suppose I can see this, but it like takes me into another screen to look at this. Yeah, I would rather just be able to do it right away in this position. And now I have to go back to this and flick back to the position that I was on, which takes time. Knight comes out to c3. We launch a Dragon Sicilian. This is one of the sharpest and most exciting Sicilians. Our opponent needs to be ready. So g6, preparing to fianchetto bishop to g7 on this long diagonal. Our opponent begins to set up an English attack. May continue with f2 to f3. Okay, and this is interesting because this is the way I would play it if I see this sort of setup. This kind of looks like a Pirk, although the c-pawn's missing. But like if I just flip the board here, this is how I would play an English attack. I'm getting ready to bring my bishop here, trade off the bishop, and push Harry. And the way you have to do that is you got to play f2 to f3 so that the knight can't jump in here. So let's just flip this back. We fianchetto. They go f2 to f3. We castle. They prepare this big attack here. Knight comes out. We develop while creating pressure on d4. So we're hitting this guy and threatening d6 to d5. So we're going to push this pawn. And why does this threaten that? The knight prevents e4 to e5. I see. So the knight's stopping the pawn here from moving up. So normally, if I had just gone d4, d5 here, they could just push on me, force my knight to jump away. So I put the knight here, and then my push is going to come and force a trade. They attack, and they also prevent my push. Okay, because now they can just simply take. They've got a bunch of pieces. Bishop to d7. We're completing our development. They long castle. We bring our rook to the same file as the king. They pull the bishop back. It wants to be safe here because when we came here, this is a discovered attack. Like it says here, we threaten a discovered attack on the bishop. So we're going to take their knight. And if the queen retakes, we're also hitting this bishop, but maybe pawn to e5 could remove the defender of the queen. I'm not sure. But theory is to go back. Let's jump into the analysis here in this position and see. And I'm going to make a move for white. Let's say we do something really slow like this. All of a sudden, there is a tactic. Negative 1.6 here. So the knight can capture. Queen captures. And we don't win the bishop. But we have the move g4. Whoa, that's disgusting. They can't take us because their queen's in danger. And, well, their best move is to take us. But let's say they just move the queen out of danger. Well, now we can take e3, remove the defender of the queen, and then pick up the bishop. Beautiful stuff. So to prevent all that, the bishop goes back. We jump our knight into the middle, which opens the c-rook up and prepares a knight jump to c4. We're going to jump in here and hit both of these powerful pieces. They launch Harry. We have to stop Harry. They launch their bishop into the position. And it keeps telling us why people are doing this. The bishop creates pressure on the knight and the e7 pawn. It prepares the g2 to g4 break. So the pawn's going to come here and attack on h5. So we have to lift the rook to defend along the 5th rank. King moves over, pawn moves up, pawn moves up, pawn moves up, and we're done with this first line in the Dragon Sicilian. What a crazy game. Like, they're going to break here. We're going to eat their bishops. They're probably going to have to pull back. It's still a very even game, but if I turn on Stockfish, it looks like the best move for white here is just to capture on f6. They're up 0.98. The Stockfish confirms that over here, 0.98. And yeah, there's 29 variations on this line. I think this is fantastic. And we can practice it. So now we can try to make the moves. We're going to just stay here. We have to take the pawn. Knight jumps out. Yeah, I go here, right? Pretty sure. No, I jump out here to stop the pawn moving. That's right. Okay, they jump in here. We go into the dragon. We castle. They go for this big attack. Our knight comes here, preparing this push. And we were going to go here, but we can't now. Bishops come out. We finish our development. Rook comes here. They pull back. And we launch into the middle. Gotta stop Harry. Bishop comes out. We lift. They move over. We left. They go. We go. Cool. I'm going to become a great Sicilian player. When I click on model games, it shows me there's a game here between Daniel Dubov and Niger. I don't even know who this is because I don't study chess enough. But it looks like It was a dragon. He preemptively in this one plays h5. And it looks like you can go through the whole game and analyze it and figure out why they made these moves. And well, this is crazy. The king stays in the middle in the whole game. But the Sicilian's always crazy, isn't it? And yeah, checking the king here. And now maybe in this position, I would want to know who's winning. And I haven't trained my evaluation quizzes enough. But yeah, hard to know here. There's 2 knights here and 2 rooks. So it looks like materially white is winning, but black plays the last move. And if this game ended, then you would think that black went on to win the game. So where's the king going to go in this position? I'd want to analyze this. One thing I would like to see from this website is like in this format here, I would love to be able to just copy this PGN. And then when I go over to analysis, then I could just paste the PGN in and flick through the moves one by one and see what the engine says for move by move. But it looks like the model game just shows you the moves for now, which isn't all that helpful. I mean, you'd rather have the analysis, wouldn't you? Don't think you can turn it on with the model game. Seems like the website's still fairly new. There's some other stuff that hasn't come yet. When I do click on analysis and I go to the review tab here, it says coming soon. So, you know, it doesn't tell you how your game was. And I guess this is essentially going to be like the chess.com review page where they have an analysis and a review telling you sort of how you did for the game. So yeah, there's still some stuff with the site that I think needs to be worked through, but overall, I really like it. And one other thing that I think is pretty cool, when I go on my phone here, they actually have a ChessMind app, and the app is really well laid out. I mean, it's super nice. Everything's just right here. I can go right into this course. There's Dragon Sicilian. It already said 1 line is already complete. And I can actually just flick through it here on the app. And I think this is well designed. It looks nice. And I honestly don't want to sit down at the computer when I'm studying a lot of the time. I might just be sitting on the couch and want to just look through the lines on my phone. So that is definitely a bonus. Lads, I'm not sponsored by ChessMind at all. I thought I'd just make this video. And last thing, I never talked about the prices. ChessMind is crazy cheap. You can use it for free for 7 days. If you pay month to month, it's $5 a month. If you pay for a whole year, you get 2 months for free. The mobile version is fantastic. Over 20,000 puzzles, over 30 openings. I'd say it's worth it. 2 thumbs up. Do let me know in the comments what websites you like to use to get better at chess, to train, and what you thought about this video. I'd love to hear any feedback. Thanks so much. Have a fantastic day. Bye for now.